Hey, yo, fellas, it's about that time to get it going. If you haven't locked in by now, you're late. I'm looking to fill the tour rosters. Got 22 games so far that I'm going to start to fill basically backwards from the Yinzer League. So if you are going to play in the Yinzer, I would lock it in by the end of the month. The numbers are going to change. We really need to financially and logistically handle everything that we need to handle. It's not easy. It's a pretty expensive nut for us, and it's pretty cheap for you. I do have a couple of offers for $1,000 for the first month, housing and baseball in the Yinzer for, I think it's 6 to 8 guys. So if you guys want, 8 guys can lock in. I get you a house, apartment near Pittsburgh, and you also get locked in with the job at Washington Wild Things Ballpark. Making your money back at the ballpark and getting jobs in the surrounding area is a great deal. You could probably make your money back in a couple of weeks, depending what kind of worker you are. They're looking for leaders. They're looking for people to step up and kind of be in management type positions when it comes to the day-to-day operations of the field and the stadium and the concessions and all that. They have their people in place, but everyone's looking for good people that they can keep around. So if you go in and you get that job for the whole summer, there's some money in your pocket right there, and hopefully you're not there the whole summer. But by the end of the month, the numbers are going to change. They have to change, guys. We're trying to bring in some experienced coaches. We have to handle baseballs again, umpires again. We're adding games, just so you get an idea. I think your umpires cost between $16,000 and $20,000. So do your homework. Between $16,000 and $20,000 in umps. Housing for the coaches was, I think, $18,000 to $24,000. Do the math, fellas. We're doing it for you. We don't have to do it. I could sit home and you guys can go play in the desert, and when the teams call, they can ask, why is the guy not with you? And I can say, buh. So that opportunity is there for you guys. I'd lock it in. Florida, unfortunately, because of guys' dates and how they're kind of procrastinating everything, is just going to be, we're going to fill the rosters, and then as guys come in, we'll bump guys off the rosters onto other teams. If you show up and you wait a couple days because you're unannounced, or you didn't lock in housing, or you locked in at the last minute or whatever, that's the price you pay. I told you guys to do it early, and I've done my part, and I can't explain enough how things are going to get expensive when spring break comes around and there's no housing. You guys have to understand how hard it is, how expensive it is to find housing and get coaches down there. Right now, you have Cash Beecham coming down after March 15th. You got some other managers and coaches that are in town full time. I'd like to get more guys down. I'd like to pay to get more guys down, but I'm not going to front it for no reason. The program gets cheaper each year. You guys lock in financially each year on time, and things kind of roll. This year, for some reason, we're having a little procrastination problem. I think guys don't understand that indie ball is played in the Midwest and on the East Coast. Anybody telling you that there's anything else out there that's not in that area is, I don't know what to tell you, man. I know you guys want to save money and stay local and stay home and whatever, baby, but that is not where the opportunity is. As a young player, I grew up in New York, New Jersey, and I got my first opportunities in El Paso, Texas, and Italy. So, I wish that those opportunities were right in my backyard. I had to turn down a Newark Bears opportunity in the Atlantic League a long time ago to make the right decision for myself. And for some of you guys, especially guys that did my program for 1 year or part of the year or whatever, did it last year, I think you have to understand that we're very loyal when guys come back and guys stick around. And in your second and third and fourth year, you will get your due if you didn't in the first year. You have to earn your spot. Cody Lovejoy was not Cody Lovejoy in his first year. Other guys who've been with us for several years, Skylar Mercado just put together his best in 3 years sample size of work for us, and it's why he got signed with the Florence Y'alls right now. And it's, everybody's situation's different, everybody's role's different, but the one thing you get is a program of guys who care about you and want to develop you. And really, the time to do it is now, January, February, March. If you're a guy, you finished a Yinzer, and you don't have a job in a top 4 league that you want, you really never should have stopped playing. And I know it's challenging to figure that out, but too many of you guys are set on this, like, this is my summer season. And really, the stuff you do outside of the summer is way more important. The guys that we sent to those American Association trips, most of them have proved themselves to me way before the Yinzer league. Before the Yinzer ever happened, those guys have proved themselves to be the next guy up in the American Association or the Frontier League or the Atlantic League or whatever. So for you guys, I know it's a hard concept to understand. I know that patience is dwindling. I know that attention span is shorter than it ever has been. But guys, everybody preaches trust the process and patience and the Lord and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think you really understand what patience is. You need to plan to be around for a while. Let me make that plan for you. And for guys that are not sure how to get locked in or what to do, you don't necessarily have to do a full membership. You don't have to do the whole year. I really don't care. You can do a week, you can do a month, you can do the Yinzer, you can do whatever. It's just a matter of how much can I say about you when managers call. What can I say that you can do, what you can't do, what you're ready for. But I really want to start planning everything and make it final as to what our roster is going to be, because these teams are asking. The game's going to be on TV, their fans going to be in the stands, and I need to put a good product out there. I have an idea of what I want to do. I'm going to start locking everybody in, and it's up to you guys what you want to do with it. It's really for you, man, and that's the whole thing that I think a lot of guys don't understand about this thing is, you look at guys like Sip Garza, Cole Bombalis, Mark Demko, guys that put themselves in situations by being a good guy and by working their ass off through and through for the Pacific Association and up through the Yinzer in 2020. And I mean, you got guys, Sip and PJ, the ultimate sacrificers, and Cole Bombalis. I mean, they stayed in the Yinzer in 2020 when they had an opportunity to go somewhere else, which is where they currently are now. And their patience and their understanding and their dedication to what we're doing helped us win the Yinzer 2020, helped them get their names out there, go to Lexington, get those jobs there, and win the championship in the Atlantic League. Cole Bombalis has turned down, I think, again, a Florence Y'all's pitching coach opportunity to be a manager and a player in the Yinzer League, because it's what it means to him to help young players, as I helped him when he was younger, get out of the Pecos League and get out of the West Coast and get to something that's more legit, to be around more legitimate people day in and day out. And it has changed his career, forwarded his career tenfold. I mean, that's why he's the pitching coach for Major League pitchers. So I don't know how else to say it. Guys are like, what's your program about? How does it work? I mean, we signed the most guys every year. We signed 80 guys out of the Yinzer last year. I think we're on like 15 signings already this year. I plan on having another, career year as we do every year. That's how it works. You come and earn your way. If you're going to ask me, well, how long do I have to be around till I get a contract? You don't get it. You just don't get it. I'll be around till I get picked up. Wrong mentality, bro. Even if you get signed, you want to be in Florida getting these at-bats against signed arms, against professional, bona fide arms. There are names on the list. We just popped a name on the list. I think that has 5-6 years experience. Won an American Association championship last year, finished the season in the Atlantic League. The guy, hopefully we don't see him because he's going to be working out for some major league clubs. But if we do see him, that'll be right after the first week of February. You could be facing that guy. And so for guys that don't understand what this really is, this is a year-round developmental minor league system, and we are the feeder system to independent baseball until somebody else says otherwise. Managers can get their players from all sorts of places. We just happen to be the most widespread, the most credible, and our players, when they sign to leagues, they do absolute damage and they perform. We do not send guys in that are there for 3 days to get released. We don't have a deal with any managers to sign guys and dump them. This is the truth. This is the reality. This is as grimy and gritty and dirty as those playoff football games were last night. I don't know if you guys saw those games, but you will never witness like back in the day what Eli Manning did to the New England Patriots. You'll never witness the Randy Mosses, the Jerry Rices, the Joe Montanas, the Steve Youngs. You'll never witness that stuff, fellas. The game is different. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant will never emerge again. So what you're watching, you missed the good stuff. I hate to break it to you. There's some great stuff. While Tom Brady's around, watch everything he does for the rest of his career. Aaron Rodgers, guys like that, because you will never see it again. And when it comes to baseball, when it comes to the Black Sox, you guys don't have to go through what we did before. We sacrificed and we wore it for you, and you will never understand that until you experience the Pecos League, the Pacific Association, things like that. So for you guys, it's like, what's this about? What is it? I don't know how easy to make it, how easy to explain it. We're saving you the trouble of running around the country. I met 2 guys at a workout recently. We're going to go to the Atlantic League tryout. I met these guys. They're not Atlantic League players. Why are you convinced that you're going to play in the Atlantic League? Why are you convinced that you're going to go to a tryout and get it done when we have guys who go to these events and don't get signed? I mean, I had 8 guys signed at the Frontier League draft last year. You can go to the Frontier League draft by yourself, or you can go as a Black Sox guy and have your information out to all the managers and all the coaches in the league, and you can be one of our 8 guys that get signed. And we ended up signing 15 guys or 20 guys or something like that when it was all said and done, of guys that had been to the draft, reconnecting them with Frontier League managers. So I don't know how, the reason you guys are going to the left and going all over the place and signing up for these random tryouts is because you're not doing your research. You have the phone up your ass, you have the black mirror in your face, you have multiple black mirrors all over the place, you have carpal tunnel syndrome, you can't see in natural light elements because all you do is work out inside, and you think you know everything. And that's why you're running around going to all this horse shit. When if you actually did your homework and your research, which involves reading and focusing and slowing down, maybe listening to a podcast, watching a YouTube video, reading a spreadsheet, clicking names online, typing the names in online, seeing where they played, how they signed. It takes time and research and development to figure out what you want to do in your career. And until you do that, you are going to be banging your head against a wall. You are going to be running into different events and different things, not understanding why you didn't get signed, and you're going to be bitter. You're going to get more and more bitter as it doesn't work out for you, which will lead to either the end of your career or a shitty run while you're here, because players like that do not have success. Players like that do not have long-term sustained success. There are not many guys running around mad at the game, mad at the world. Why didn't I sign? I love the guy who says, I can't believe I'm not signed. For every guy that says that, I can believe you're not signed. I can believe it. I'll tell you why you're not signed. Just give me a look at your numbers. Give me a look at your mentality, your makeup, your body. Give me a look at your college numbers. Give me a look. Sorry, man, we're grinding here. A little deodorant in the car. We're on our way to Physical Synergy. I'm going to therapy, the therapy with a doctor that you guys should be going to, of our doctor of 15 years. I promise you, next offseason, I'm going to do a workout with this doctor and my doctors, and we're going to take several ball players. We're going to tell them, do not go train in these places if your mechanics are sustainable, if your mechanics are sound. And we're going to tell guys, come to our offseason program. It probably costs less. You'll learn more. You'll get better than you will going to these other places to train. Because as these guys are coming down to me after finishing their training, they are the same. You have to be better. You have to be better. You have to be better at throwing strikes. You have to be better at durability and physicality. And if you're going to those things and they're not making you better, then what the fuck are you going there and spending the money there for? Especially if you're a free agent that never should have stopped throwing in the first place. Guys who are free agents need to throw in January, in February, right away, get the innings, get signed. You have the longest year of your life, and then next year you will shut it down and start later. For the guy that finished the season in the yins and didn't really have that many innings and didn't throw strikes, what is revamping and training somewhere and picking up 2 miles an hour gonna do for you if you can't throw it over the plate, you can't hold a runner on, and your body is not physically able to sustain the pounding, the beating that you're about to put it through? We are teaching you about that pounding. We are teaching you about that beating. We are gonna put you through the grind and manage you. For example, my game in South Florida today, as I'm up in Connecticut, my program's playing down south, managed by Killer Bees manager Cole Bombalis. Our starters are going to get 3 at-bats. Our signed guys going on the tour are going to get 2-3 at-bats, play half the game, come out of the game. They're going to go to the gym, they're going to lift their weights, they're going to go to the trainers, and they're going to get ready for the next thing. It's not about beating anybody up. It's not about playing 9-inning games. It's not about going all out and getting hurt right now. It's about understanding what you're actually being involved in. Why is James Smybird one of our top left-handed hitting infield prospects down in Florida right now? Why is Carson McCurdy, who signed in the Atlantic League and the American Association several times down in South Florida, leading off today? Why is he doing that? Why are guys down there, Josh Goulet is a perfect example. Came down last year, 240 at-bats, 300 at-bats the kid had. 300 plate appearances showing up in Florida, playing in the Yins. I think it might be closer to 400 if you add it all up. He had 200 something in the Yins. So got 150 before he went. So yeah, it's 400, the tour, Florida, all that. Where are you getting 400 at-bats? Where are you getting 50, 30 quality innings against people that give a shit? You know, anybody that tells you, you got to go put up numbers to get signed. Right. No shit. Affiliated Ball is not signing any guy unless he's out of a top 4 MLB partner league. That's the point of the deal. So if you think you're a free agent and you're going to sign, you're going to go somewhere and sign just by showing up and working out, you are wrong. Also, for any guy, and I'll end on this, right? This is what I'm going to end on, right? You don't know how the MLB partner league deal works. If you did, you wouldn't be trying to go that route, and you would be hanging it out with the leaders in indie ball signings every year. Because think about it, I want to get to affiliated ball. These guys sign the most independent guys, and they sign the most affiliated guys from independent ball. No brainer. You don't have to like me to work with me. Let me end on this. You don't have to talk to me. You don't even got to play for me. You could play for one of our other managers in one of our other settings and we would still help you get it done. Because I am a ball player's guy. I think people don't understand that this is not a business idea. This is life and this is where it took us. And I think you guys need to start understanding that this is the final note and this is going to be hard for you guys to comprehend. There are not very many good players or players that are good enough to play in these leagues that are floating around trying to play. Most of you guys are in the same pool that you've been in for 3 or 4 years. Notice the guys from the Pacific Association in 2018-19 are still doing damage at very high levels. Everybody else who's been playing since then is kind of in this pool below the line of mediocrity. And what you need to understand is managers know every player. I know every player, and I'm not a manager. So think about it. There are only so many places to get players. We already know who they all are. What is going to be the difference maker in us signing a player that we knew from 3 years ago or last year who wasn't good enough to sign last year? Why is he going to be better to sign this year? Not because he went to a different program, not because he went to a different camp or different tryout. That's not going to be what's going to get the guy signed. What's going to get the guy signed is that the guy is actually fucking better. The guy got better. How do we vouch for that? You play against professional competition in Florida and on the tour. And that is the end of the story. There is no other way that is going to prove that players got better. Because when there is a need, just because a manager saw a guy at a tryout or an event or whatever, does not mean he's going to take him. He's going to take the guy where people can vouch for that guy and that guy is good enough to play in his league. How does he know that that guy's good enough to play in his league? Spring training games, South Florida, facing the competition. Hey, Joe, what have you seen him do against it? And I say, well, this is what he did against the Railcat staff. And then they say, okay, well, maybe Joe's full of shit. Hey, Greg Taggart, what did that do against the Railcat staff? I don't understand if you get how deep we roll, the people we're talking to. I don't think many people do understand. It's the reason that it is what it is. I had a kid hit me up the other day. How come it's all about the money, Joe? You called me and then I told you we could talk and then you told me give you money and I'll answer the phone. Because you've been running in circles, wasting your time, banging your head against the wall doesn't mean that I have. Just because things are not working out for you doesn't mean they're not working out for everybody else. And as McDonald's got better, they charge more money. And I don't know anybody, go to a catering service, order a bunch of food and don't pick it up. Do that every fucking weekend and see if next time you call, they don't say, if you don't put a $250 deposit down, we're not starting this food order. You guys don't know how the world works, you don't know how business works, and you definitely don't know how independent professional baseball works. I don't even know why you're trying to play, honestly, and get involved in something that you don't know how it works. But since attention spans are what they are, with all the technology at your fingertips, and you guys can't figure it out, look it up, try your best to do it on your own, and then see how hard it must have been for us to figure this out and get it going. I mean, years, hours, mastery, research, skills. You work on skills. So there are only so many players. Everybody knows who everybody is. So if I'm a player that really wants to play and I've been at this for a while, I'm rolling with the most credible guys. Not the new thing, not the easy thing, not the cheap thing, not the thing that's just gonna be, this is the best situation for me because I don't like Joe Torre. I fucking do the hard thing. I dealt with a lot of people when I was coming up that I really didn't want to fucking deal with because I had to get myself to where I needed to get to. All right, that's it. Rant over. Lock your shit in. This might be it, boys. This might be it. The game is changing, you know? But really, the game remains. Only the players change.